Hi everyone, I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative from the 18th District. I represent portions of Cowlitz and Clark counties, including Camas, Washougal, Salmon Creek, Battleground, Ridgefield, and LaCenter, up through Woodland, Kalama, and Toutle to the county line. I'm reporting to you from the 2009 legislative session here in Olympia. Now that we've seen both the House and Senate budget proposals, much of this week will be spent ironing out the differences. After budgets are passed from each chamber, House and Senate budget writers will meet behind closed doors to decide how your tax dollars will be spent. For the most part, I won't be part of the process, at least not in a formal way. But informally, I will continue to let budget writers know that tax increases should not be part of the equation. I've also heard from a lot of you about proposals to cut education and health services for our truly needy citizens. I want you to know that I don't like these cuts either. In my mind, our priority should be safeguarding the public, educating our children, and protecting and caring for those in our society that are truly in need of our help. While I believe in and will continue to push for a balanced budget, our budget cuts should not endanger our seniors and our developmentally disabled citizens. Apart from budget negotiations, much of our time is now going to be spent on the House floor or in caucus, where we're deliberating and debating Senate bills that have come over from the Senate, that we're dealing with, that have come through the House committees. We'll spend the next week or so voting on those Senate bills while the Senate votes on the House bills we sent over to them a few weeks ago. Then, if there are specific changes to the bills, each legislative body must approve or reject the changes made by the other chamber. If there is agreement that the changes are good, then they get voted on one more time and then get sent to the governor for her signature. If there is not agreement on changes to proposed legislation, the bills go into a conference committee with members from both the House and Senate to work out the differences on the bills. Sometimes the process isn't pretty, but let's hope the end result looks a little bit better. This week, I'd like to introduce Brittany Dominy from Camas. I always like to take a moment to acknowledge the help we receive from our legislative pages. They are an important part of the operations here in the legislature. Brittany, I want to thank you for all of your work this week. It's a pleasure having you here, and I know that you're doing a lot of hard work because you're going to be going up and down a lot of steps this week. We don't let the pages use elevators here in the House, so they have to use the stairs. That keeps the elevators free for legislators having to get to and from meetings, as well as our constituents. So they do a lot of hard work as they take documents from the House to our offices and back and forth, as well as distributing things on the House floor. So they do a tremendous amount of work, and we really appreciate it because we could not do our job as effectively as we do without help from people like Brittany. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time to find out what's happening in Olympia. I appreciate your involvement as we work together to make Southwest Washington a better place to live, to work, and to raise a family. As always, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to contact my office. You can use my direct line, 360-786-7812. Again, that's 360-786-7812. You can use the toll-free hotline. You can send a message by email, and don't forget to check my webpage for news. Again, I'm Ed Orcutt, your state representative, with Brittany, my page, saying thanks for joining me.